Welcome to La Jefa Experience, the place where moms in any stage of motherhood come to get tools, tips, and support to thrive as the CEO of their life and family.
What's up, Jefas all over the world? Welcome to La Jefa Experience. I am your host, ROCIO Cisco, and I'm going to dive right in today because I have so much information to share with you guys. For those of you that are just joining me and haven't caught the last couple shows, I have recently taken on a part-time role from home, and holy crap. Holy crap. My hat goes off to all moms, all moms. And today I'm highlighting specifically the working moms. Um, my hat goes off to you because it's a tough thing to manage. And this goes right along with being the CEO of your life and family, right? Holy crap. So where do I begin? I mean, I'll tell you my experience, okay? I have really been working hard to shift everything that I had done up until this point. And what I mean by that is I had already created a routine for myself and Santiago, and a lot of that involved taking care of myself, taking care of my home, taking care of our family finances, and managing all of that, juggling all those balls, if you will. And my husband's off and he's the primary breadwinner for our family. And what I decided to do was, you know what? I'm so used to making my own money and I'm so used to bringing in income. This can't hurt, one. And two, it'll really set us up for a to be in a better position. Like, I can save more than I had originally anticipated. I can start really paying off some debt, and I can have some play money too. Who doesn't want that, right? That I could use to invest into the business, the podcast, the coaching services, all the things I'm doing with La Jefa. Because believe it or not, guys, that costs money and that takes investment. So all of that to say that I'm flowing with the adjustment of it all. And I have realized, and the thing that's most apparent to me is how intentional you truly have to be with your time. Because entering this phase of my life, ladies, for me, it's super important to be present with my family. That includes both my husband and my son together and individually. It's important for me that I continue to take care of myself, mind, body, soul, spirit, everything, like emotional. It's so important to me. It's also important to me to show up the best that I can at work and in the things that I do at work. So with all that being said, I have been doing my absolute best to just be intentional and realizing that, holy crap, I no longer have those little ounces of time and spurts where I would probably spend like 20 to 30 minutes on social media, or even talking to someone on the phone. Like, if I wanted to spend an hour and a half with a friend just to catch up, that's got to be intentional too. And now the way that I'm viewing it is, how else can I multitask my time where maybe I'm taking a walk while I'm on the phone with a friend. Maybe I'm on the bike. We have an assault bike in the gym or in the garage. Maybe I'm on the bike while I'm on a call, because those are important too, right? So intentionality is super important. The other thing that I've realized, ladies, is you need to know what's important to you, because if you don't, holy crap, you are going to spin your wheels and drive yourself mad, crazy mad, trying to fit it all in. And this show is for the mama that finds herself thinking, I don't have enough time, though there aren't enough hours in the day. And I'm here to tell you, mamas, that there are. There are, okay? And number one is being intentional with your time, knowing what is important to you. What are your values? When was the last time you actually sat down, wrote out your values, wrote out what's important to you, numbered them, prioritized them, and actually implemented those in your day-to-day decisions? Because here's the thing, and I'm talking from being a recovering, no limit, no boundary setting type of person. I used to take it all on, and I'm still getting better at that. However, I'm a lot better at filtering. Is this serving me and my top priorities right now? If it's not, it's a no. If it is, let's find out how we can make this happen. So, what this leads to when you don't prioritize, when you don't even know what your values are, is you tend to, it's so much easier to abandon what you really want because you're so concerned with giving others what they want, people pleasing. You start not honoring yourself. What that all leads to when you try to do it all and you really try to fit it all in a 24-hour span, honestly, probably like 12 to 16 hours, right? Because that's the average amount of time that we're up throughout the day. Those aren't a lot of hours. That's not a lot of time. And you don't have that much bandwidth. So what else does it lead to? Well, a lot of these things lead to stress and overwhelm. I've said that before. Again, you start to seek validation from the external because you're really looking for, tell me you like me, give me a thumbs up, give me a like on social media, tell me how much you love me and appreciate me, because you're not giving it to yourself, mama. So what I suggest is, I suggest to sit down and really journal about your values. A couple years ago, when I was working at the gym for Angelo, he's big on self-development, and he's a big part of why I've gotten into self-development. He brought us, his entire team, he bought us the value factor. I believe I'm going to look it up because it's Dr. DeMartini, John DeMartini, and his book is The Value Factor, I believe. Yep, The Value Factor, The Secret to Creating an Inspired and Fulfilling Life. And he brought this book to us and he said, guys, I would love for you to read this and I would love for you to take the test. And I took the test, I read it, didn't really think anything of it, and I put it away. And as I was preparing for this show, I was like, oh my gosh, let me revisit The Value Factor with Dr. DeMartini. Now he on his website, he states that he's a human behavior specialist, leadership and performance expert, author, and business consultant. You guys, this guy he's awesome. He is awesome. And he talks a lot about values and priorities and again, living a fulfilling life, inspired and fulfilling life. And I retook the test, guys. And guess what? I am living according to my values. And it shows in the things I do in my day-to-day life. Now, I don't say that to be like, hey guys, no, I'm not perfect. I'm still figuring it out. Yet the majority of the small details that make up the big picture are in alignment with what matters the most to me. My top three are my family, myself, and my job now. The things that I do externally that before I started this part-time job, it would have been putting in time to La Jefa and Warrioress and all the things that I was doing on the side that you guys see, that the external sees. That's like my purpose. Now it's this job because I'm making income from this job that I stand behind, and I love the product and I love the culture and community. So now that's one of my top priorities. And when I took this quiz, all the questions, which, by the way, if you're going to take the quiz, sit down, no interruptions, no distractions, or very limited, because it's a lengthy quiz and it asks you questions in a way that really makes you think of, oh, I've never thought about that. Let me see what it is. The kicker is you may also be living a life that you think is aligned with how you want to be living, yet your actions state otherwise. So check it out. Check out Dr. Demartini's Value Factor. Check out his website. He offers a free quiz. Take the time to do that. Because if you're not doing that, what are you really filtering your decision making on? When you're taking something on, when you're saying yes to something, what are you filtering that through? And if you're not filtering that through anything right now, you're taking on way too much that may not even be serving you. And that's honesty. Okay. So let's talk about what is a value. Well, values are standards or ideals with which we evaluate actions, people, things, or situations. Just like I'm saying, right? It's a filter. What matters the most to you? What do you put value into? What's important to you? Okay. Dr. Demartini puts this in like a really authentic way. He states that we put value on things that we believe we may be missing, and I feel like that's not necessarily true. Yeah, it could be, right? Like if we feel like we're not making enough money, then you're gonna put value on how to make money. Um, how can I create more income? How can I bring in more money to my household? Things of that nature. And that could also be true. And again, it's just depending on the person. And if that's what matters to you, then that's what matters to you. There's no right or wrong here. What's important is that you create awareness to the fact that something is that important to you. So mamas, what am I getting to here? I'm getting to sit down, write down your top 3 to 5 values and start filtering the decisions that you make throughout the day against those things. Right now, I have 3. I'm going to stick with those 3 for as long as I possibly can, and as long as something else doesn't shift. And if it does, I'm going to flow with it. Okay. But an easy way to tell right off the bat without even taking this quiz online or, looking things up is check your bank statement, check your bookshelf, check your calendar. The 3 things that you see the most pop up on there where you're reading into or you're really curious about, or you're spending your money on, or that you're creating time for, are your top values. Okay. And it's important to prioritize those values. When you don't prioritize your priorities, you're going to keep prioritizing everybody else's. Okay. So Take the time to do this stuff. Give yourself the permission to live to your highest priorities. That's what being a Jefa is all about. It's not taking on someone else's needs, wants, and desires. It's creating and accomplishing your own. So stop allowing yourself to be bombarded by everybody else's crap and everybody else's needs. You don't need, ain't nobody got time for that, mama. Seriously. And if you're listening to this and you aren't a mama, holy crap. Prioritize your priorities, because when you have kids, it gets even harder. Okay. So trust me, it's so worth pissing someone off or making someone mad to honor yourself, because you're not responsible for anybody else's life. You're responsible for your own. Okay. So ask yourself, what activities are you willing to spend your time, money, and energy on? Those are your values. Those are your top priorities. Start filtering and start creating space for you to do that. That's when you're feeling the most fulfilled. When you're spending the majority of your time on what you value, it's no skin off your back. It's not draining your energy. It's giving you energy because you're more inspired to do these things, mamas. So take the time today. Check out DeMartini, check out his quiz online, check out your bank statement, bookshelf, and your calendar, and find out what you're already putting your time and energy into. And if it's not what you consciously want to put your time and energy into, change it. Change it. It's as simple as that. Give yourself grace. Remember that you didn't know better, but now that you do, you have a responsibility to yourself and your soul to live life authentically to you, to who you are and what you want and what you desire. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, follow, and share with a fellow mama that would benefit from the message. I'd also love for you to leave me a 5-star review and let me know what you want to hear on La Jefa Experience. As always, Jefa, you are worthy and already have what it takes to stress less, love more, and be unstoppable. Go show your family and the world what it takes and how it's done so they know that they are capable of doing it too. Check those bank statements, check those bookshelves, check those calendars. What activities are you willing to spend time, energy, and money on, and start living authentically to you? Love you. Ciao.